start with Mike and then go to Pete.
Yeah, Coach Signetti mentioned you guys got a lot of depth on the defensive line. How have you tried to step up into a leadership role, and what does that look like for you? Are you kind of a vocal guy or lead by example? Like, what are you trying to do to kind of set the example for those guys?
Yeah, I like to be a mix of both. We have a lot of young guys. We have 4 new freshmen, and we have 3 new redshirt freshmen. So, it's a lot of new people, a lot of new faces, but, just trying to be vocally a leader and then also show them on the field because that's the most important. So, they've been doing a really good job and stepping up inside the meeting rooms and now on the field.
We'll go Pete and then Sammy.
Mario, I guess from your perspective, how does your role change? What do you have to do maybe more of, better of?
Definitely a leadership role. I think last year and the year before that, I got to watch Mikhail Kamara, Aiden Fishers, D'Angelo Pons, leaders of the defense and how they were able to, be leaders throughout the game and then also off the field. So, I learned a lot from them, and now I think I can take that up upon myself, and, that's how I can get better this year for sure.
We'll go Sammy and then Seth.
Most of the JMU guys who came with SIG have moved on, and people say that might change the culture a little bit, but as a young guy who was recruited by Signetti and that staff and then coming to Indiana, how do you build upon that to, not necessarily replace an Aiden Fisher, but continue that culture foundation that they all built?
Yeah, definitely having the 2 years of that culture being built up and continuing to build as well because, when I first came in, it was kind of like a little iffy. People weren't sure about football, this, that. But, bringing those guys in set like a base and a standard. So I think being the person to be able to continue that and have more people after me teach them, and the standard will continue to rise and the culture will continue to rise as well.
All right, we'll go Seth and then Zach B.
Yeah, just I guess how much of a tandem do you feel like you and Tyreek kind of make up inside? You guys both were kind of, maybe not the primary rotation guys, in Signetti's first year, and last year you worked your way into the starting lineup. I guess just, for you guys to be back for another year together in the middle there, just how much of a tandem are you guys?
I mean, it's great chemistry between me and him. There's certain plays that we're able to help each other make plays, and, it's not all about ourselves. We both know that, and we both have goals in mind. So, just getting on the same page this offseason and, wanting to build upon what we did last season because, last year doesn't affect this year. You got to be better this year. So, I think just communicating with each other better, and, I think it's going to work out great.
We'll go front middle to Zach B and then Joe.
Tyreek mentioned Blake as somebody that stood out amongst the underclassmen. What stood out about him to you?
Blake's a very smart kid. He comes in early. He's always working after. Like, I see him working with James Carpenter in the meeting room after when we're all gone. And, he's putting it together. But, we have a bunch of freshmen, a bunch of young guys who are, compared to me, personally, I felt like as a freshman it was way different. I was 250. These guys are 280, 290. And that comes with the culture and the winning that's been brought upon us. So, it's nice to see that and, the guys taking it all in with Coach Kuntz.
We'll go Joe and then Jared.
Something Coach mentioned last week is building upon the success, especially last season. That was 16-0, was perfection. What are the challenges for yourself, I guess, to flip that switch from a national championship and kind of rewire your brain to prepare for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, last season, again, was awesome. It was a great time, but, telling yourself to just remove it from your brain because, like I said, last year doesn't affect how this year's going to go. So, we have to get better and work on feet, hand, eyes. You're either getting better or you're getting worse, like Signetti says. So we got to get better this spring and then continue that into fall camp, and then, God willing, it will continue.
Middle second row to Jared, then Josh.
You played a ton your first 2 years. Did it ever feel like you were kind of trying to keep your head above water, just trying to learn everything on the fly, but that you guys are still winning as much as you were?
Yeah, I think my freshman year was a struggle. I think learning the plays was the biggest thing, and that was the biggest thing that also helped me get onto the field. I think the first semester it was really hard to understand the plays. You're going into practice not prepared, and that's just a lack of preparation. So I think learning from that freshman semester and building to fall camp, I just was able to prepare more, and that's always the biggest thing. You saw Fernando, how much he prepared, and how much that worked for him. So preparation is definitely massive.
We'll wrap with Josh.
Being close with Tyreek, you see him become a leader now. Obviously, you got a couple of years of eligibility left. Are you learning from him to take the reins at some point?
Yeah, of course. I'm always learning from Tyreek. It's a good time. Like you said, yesterday we went to High. We got Squeak Burgers, like a triple, But that's just besides the point. But, he's a good person. He's got great things he does on and off the field. And, he just works really hard. And that's really nice for me to see and push me even harder because I want to be just like him and, to work to a certain standard where we're both winning on and off the field.
Great. Thanks, Mario.
Thanks, Mario.
Appreciate it.
Coach will be down here shortly.